But sensory overload is so real during the holidays. It accesses that sympathetic nervous system, but metacognition is viewing your thoughts and ideas from a distance. So it is me back in my room. I have the weirdest setup. I am the Grinch. Well, I used to be. I'm a Christmas baby. Well, close to Christmas baby. I was born December 16th. My birthday's in 2 days. Woohoo. By the time I'm filming this, and this may be up by now, haha. 41% of people experience heightened stress during the holidays. I remember when I was working with my therapist and they were saying, you know, you should call soon, make an appointment soon, because I woke up during the holidays. I'm like, I get it. I know. And if you have any type of neurodivergence or like a big one that I resonate with is CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, it is not uncommon for you to not like Christmas. Like, I get it. I know. And why I'm talking to you today is because I want you to feel seen. When we are around so many people that are like happy, excited about Christmas or like the holiday season, it's a lot on you. It's a lot on us. Our nervous systems might not love what we're being thrown into. So I have 4 reasons why you may not like Christmas and why maybe this is the time that you need to resort to more supports, journaling, those self-care routines during this time. I'm going to give you some tools to help with each strategy and each scenario. And at the end of the day, you're seen by this. It is so common to think that you need to act a certain way during the holiday season, or that you have to put on a mask and just go out there and fight and be the person that everyone wants you to be. But I'm here to tell you that no, it's okay. It is okay. So I'm gonna take a deep breath. And let's get right into it. So the first one is disrupted routines. Something when it comes to like ADHD and autism, and if you are a parent watching this, thinking about your child with this trait, these traits, highly sensitive people, it shouldn't be a surprise that we love routine. Like, even someone who is neurotypical enjoys their routine. I know for me, I love to wake up early. I have like reactions to certain foods. I have a very interesting diet. And this is not the time of year that is conducive to these routines. You know, we're off work. We are interacting with people that maybe we don't see often. We are scheduling things around family members coming in. And, you know, it is a joyous time. Don't let me... With these routines, it is so easy for us to fall out of control. What you can do is really take a step back and think about the 3 things you could do right now to take care of yourself. It could be as big as I am going to work on a project and allocate time on my days off to do that. Or I'm going to make sure that I'm still continuing to connect with people that I care about. Maybe they're not my family, maybe they're not. And this can help bring you a sense of safety and security during this time of not knowing what is going on. Another thing is making sure that you're carving out time for things that you do enjoy, but making sure that your basic needs are being met. Are you eating things that are nourishing you? Are you getting enough water? Are you sleeping? Man, I had like a couple of days where I tried to wake up at like 4 compared to like 4:30 or 5. And even that half an hour of missing sleep, it felt like I hit like a truck. I slept for 9 hours last night trying to catch up for that. Again, these disrupted routines can throw our nervous systems out of whack. Like, when we don't wake up and immediately do our workout, it's a little different and our body takes a moment to get back to its tolerance regarding life in general. Honor yourself and what you can control, recognize that. So even if writing out a list, I have a Christmas party today. What is in your control? How you show up when you leave, what you're going to look like, what you're going to eat, drink. What is out of your control? How people respond, what is in the environment, the sensory. I think I'm going to jump ahead too. This was number 3. But sensory overload is so real during the holidays. If you are a highly sensitive person, this ain't it. This ain't it. Lights there, music there, music there. Do not feel bad about wearing headphones or anything like that. I know when I had my really bad concussion, it was like, man, the room was spinning. The Christmas lights. I felt like I was in a rave. This is the time of year that it's like everything bright, shiny, but tenfold. And what this sensory overload can do is really impact how we regulate our emotions, how we regulate our basic functions. Like, it accesses that sympathetic nervous system that is that fight or flight. You might not be able to digest or like regulate your heartbeat, take a breath. It's more like you are in this constant movement. And if you have had like a concussion or anything, or even if you have like ADHD, autism, when you are in this environment with sensory overload, it is much harder for you to use those executive functioning skills. So an example is when you're at a concert and you could tell that you're starting to feel overwhelmed, this makes it harder for you to manage any kind of feelings of irritability or respond in a manner that you would have otherwise. So what I would recommend in this situation is removing yourself and using the tools that you have cultivated, whether that be like making sure that you have like little earbuds that you could put in, big headphones, so that protects some of that music, or excusing yourself and taking brain breaks so you don't exhaust all of your energy. The next is what I'm thinking about for CPTSD. And this really is comorbid. It occurs with ADHD, autism, neurodivergence, and concussions. So when we're looking at CPTSD, these are smaller, maybe not smaller, it's all relative and subjective to what you feel. But these are events that have occurred in your life that, rather than one instance or bigger events in your life, they are more subtle, consistent occurrences, patterns throughout your life. And what this might look like is family members telling you certain things, little microaggressions towards yourself, or what you should do, and this ultimately shapes the way that you move throughout the world. Now, I will get into saying Christmas was always a very stressful time in my household. My dad was the busiest during this time. I was with my grandma, and like this was also my birthday, so I think there was a lot going on. We hosted Christmas. They all wanted to be perfect, and based on what I picked up as a kid, these were all very internalized. And so I looked at the way that I communicated with the world and moved through the world. And especially during Christmas time, it was that pressure to be perfect. It was that pressure to perform, to be happy, when that really wasn't my true authentic self. If you felt anything during that long string, I feel like I kind of blacked out saying all this, I want you to know that you're seen, and there are many Americans that have felt this. I mean, probably even outside of America. Again, going back to the statistic, 41% feel heightened stressors during this time of year. And this is some proof to the pudding that it's not just you getting this Grinch syndrome. Therapy and journaling. Cognitive behavioral therapy can help you pinpoint instances where you have had some of these experiences shape the way that you move through the world. So an example is going back to that need to be perfect. Similar to the first example, really hone in on what's true to you and what matters to you, and take time for yourself during this year, this period, to self-care. Make sure your basic needs are being met, and spend time with your community, whether this be your family again or friends. Therapy is so important, and the same is with journaling. I think a lot of my deepest issues have come up. I like journal prompts such as, when you were a child, what did these periods remind you of? Or what did you see? And the more that you expand on the events, the more comes out. It's like almost surprising. And what this also incorporates is the idea of metacognition. And I've talked about this on a previous episode, but metacognition is kind of like viewing your thoughts and ideas from a distance. It's like a third person view. And one way that I love doing this is journaling. I will even talk into a notes app and then reread. We use that primitive animal brain to kind of talk about what we're feeling. But when we look from a distance and reread that, you could see the patterns. You could be surprised by what you're saying, like, wow, that was really irrational, I just said, and I don't necessarily feel that way. Another common example of this is think about how people say, draft out a text when you're mad, but don't send it. And then sit and think about how you really felt. That is a pure example of metacognition. That might even be a good tool to use now that we are seeing a lot of people from our family in our past that may have initially caused some of these traumatic instances. And if you have experienced any type of PTSD or very life-changing events during this time of year, I want to say that I'm sending so much love. I know it's not easy, and therapy and having a strong community can go a long way. So I recommend checking out some resources in your area. And then the last, I've already kind of mentioned it, but the unrealistic expectations. Whether you're neurodivergent, a highly sensitive person, if you are an obsessive thinker, we want to have as much control as we can. Again, it makes us feel safe. I have another video up here if you want to check it out on this idea of like, let's let go and let life take its course. We have so much going, and like the pressure to be happy can eat you alive. And it's almost like you feel shame and guilt for not being able to move and celebrate as some of your friends and family members are. I felt that too. And I think digging into these themes have really let me unleash the behaviors and like shift my mood. I found a statistic that said like personal growth all starts from mindset shifts. I believe the number is actually 71% of people agreed on this. Research has showed this. And if you want to be a person that actually moves through this season with love and joy and just abundance, it's possible. And I think it's really digging down into themes of life. Like I'm telling you, 4 years ago, I was like, really? We have to have a Christmas party on my birthday? Which is so shitty to say, but it's something that is so true. I don't want to be that Grinch anymore, but I need to unleash those fears and I need to unleash those unrealistic expectations. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, maybe, where it's like you have half of it being, I want to be happy, I want to be loved, I don't want this fear anymore, I don't want this shame anymore. But then it's also like, I can't force myself to be happy all the time. It's that fine line of I'm unleashing all the things that have happened to me so I can feel the most authentic myself and spread love and joy to the people I care about. But I'm gonna do it within the constraints that makes the most sense for me. And so we can't be happy 100% of the time. You need to own up to when you can be happy and when you need to take a break. What this also cultivates is that self-care routine. It allows you to show a little bit more compassion with yourself when you do let go of those fears and shame and let yourself move with love. Wow, I sound like a freaking hippie right now, but it's so true. Oh no, you cute.
What's up, Facebook?
How can I stop hating Christmas?
Get a boyfriend that insists that you love Christmas or else.
Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and we'll see you next time.